Hello. Thanks for agreeing to set up this interview. As you know, we only have a short amount of time, so let's go ahead and get started right away. Now, I know that you've been involved in some work on community issues. Can you tell me what attracted you to the community issue that you chose at the beginning of the semester?
Gladly. The reason why I chose my community issue of texting and driving is because that it does play a significant role as well as, um, besides a significant role, it's mostly a major issue that we have um, in our lives today as we see it every day. More and more people are on their phones, and it's just a big issue that we have in general with people because it doesn't take away from the fact that people are still doing it and they see it on the news as people are dying, crashes are happening, the rate of death for teens as well has gone up in the past years from 9 teens dying a day in 2013 to about 11 to 12 teens dying now in 2016. And it's just been a major part on my life because there are several times where I thought people were going to rear end me or people were going to like crash at the stoplight because they're not slowing down enough. And this goes not for other drivers, but as well as for people on the streets as well, which is why I decided to do it. And it really sticks out because when you're walking as a pedestrian, you automatically think the car's not going to hit me. But so few people don't understand that they are going to get hit. One out of every four people will probably get hit by cars who just are too busy texting and driving or being distracted. And I want to touch base on a lot of people who don't understand the real causes and what goes on for people who are distracted or texting or doing anything other than but keeping their eyes locked on the road.
Okay, thank you. Now, your materials also said that you were involved in a community issue team project that focused on a call to action. Can you share with me what call to action your team put forward and why you chose that call to action?
Yeah, so our call to action was pretty much just inform people, and our main thing was so many people in Fargo, as well as the world, don't understand the real dangers of texting and driving. And that was our main catcher for our audience that we gave our presentation to. And I think we touched base on a lot of good points, as well as how we can stop and keep people much safer on the roads, as well as keeping people safe in their cars and just giving a couple examples of what can happen if things do go wrong. And we showed two videos, and we also talked about other crashes and other statistics of crashes that happen throughout the years and how bad it possibly can be for the most horrible outcome there is.
I see. Now, if I were to ask the other members of your team what they think your biggest strength is, what do you think they would say, and why do you think they would say it?
I think my other team members would say my biggest strength is getting the facts across and doing it in a way that it's not so monotone or not so over the top. It was right in the middle, so it was a good consistency to have an excitement in my voice, but also good to have restraint on other parts where it was not so appropriate to go all out and use hand gestures and constantly do other things that wouldn't be appropriate during the time. I think they would also say that one of my biggest strengths is that it, for me, is that I had good eye contact and I also had extremely good presentation form, not with just my stature, but how I was being more interactive than my other two members were because they were just standing there when they were giving their parts, and I think they would tell me that I was really good at like almost interacting, but not going up to every individual person saying, "How are you doing?" and doing all that other stuff. But I think I had a good basis with the audience and not just standing up there and looking at the screen and telling them what is on the screen. It was a good back and forth.
Okay, great. What for you was the most challenging thing about working with your team?
I think the most challenging thing to work with my team was that I had to do all the work and they didn't really do much. One group member didn't do anything but put her name on the project, and the other girl didn't bother to change anything. She just read off everything that I wrote, and it wasn't the greatest experience, but it is a college experience nevertheless, so you are going to have to deal with that. But it is frustrating when your group members don't pull their own weight and you're stuck doing all the work before you even have to present it. And they never emailed me or texted me or did anything of the sort to try to get together. They just saw that it was done and said, hey, it's done. We don't have to worry about it. Let's just do what he did. And it was sort of irritating when we were giving it because they had no real enthusiasm with it.
Thank you. Okay, last question. In 30 seconds or so, tell me what your biggest takeaway was from Com 110 this semester. What will stick with you and be useful to you?
I think my biggest takeaway from Com 110 would have to be the ending of this interview process. Um, it was pretty interesting to see that there are so many different ways that you can have interviews and that it doesn't just have to be face to face, which is what I've been doing for the last couple of years when I had jobs or I had important things to do. It was always face to face, but now knowing that we can use technology, because I was told from high school it was just do face to face, it's easier that way, but now that I have been taught the proper ways to do any sort of informative, impromptu speech or interview, it was probably the most helpful to understand. And that's probably what's the best to have. So thank you.